I actually think that ancient Egyptian culture was a resurrection-based culture. And the reason I think that is the pyramids. I do not believe that the pyramids of Giza are a tomb. I think it is a picture of resurrection. So the pyramid at Giza is 1/43,000th the exact size of the northern hemisphere of the earth.
Wow.
And it points to Orion's belt, 3 stars, and it sits in direction to the Nile River as Orion's belt does to the Milky Way.
It's incredible, man.
It's an exact reflection, and I think what the Sphinx is probably a lion looking at the exact vernal equinox at a particular date in time that is much older than our schools think. I think, our schools think civilization started about 4,000, 6,000 years ago. And the problem with that is we don't see little pyramids getting bigger, failing, they just show up, the way that human invent things, right? Like you can't compare what Ford built in 1912 to the Ford you drive today.
Right.
Because there's been a progression through experiment and whatever. How on earth did the Egyptians start off with the Tesla car?
Ooh. Yeah.
So there's a divine intelligence there that's been lost. And so I think the Egyptians, when you look at it, right, there's 3 levels. So did you know that there's a room beneath the Pyramid of Giza, and they're all empty. Every single one is empty. And then there's these pathways. One's called the Queen's Chamber, and the next is called the King's Chamber, and they all point exactly up to Orion's belt. Like, how do we get up?
Even while they're underground.
Yeah, it's a picture of how do we ascend to heaven, this desire for resurrection. And there's never been a tomb found in there. And I believe, I've not been in the inner sanctum of the pyramid, but it's empty. Like there's nothing written in it. Like,
really?
Yeah. And some of them are, but in Giza there's nothing. So it's crazy, man. And what these guys could do, it's just amazing. So I think that the Egyptians are marking a particular time, a moment in time. I think it might be the flood, right? The worldwide flood that we were all taught didn't happen. I think that there's a catastrophe that happened that was global, and they're trying to mark it to warn us about, again, future judgment. Even the Mayans, right? All the sacrifices that they did, it wasn't that they wanted to kill people. They were trying to delay the coming judgment of God.
Yeah. Or get their crops back.
Yeah. So they're trying to appease God by killing these people.
Right.
Because they thought doom was coming. And they were trying to avoid that. And so, right, so there's this ancient wisdom of trying to avoid this upcoming judgment of God. The God or gods are displeased, and they're going to come back. And so for us, right, that's the day of judgment. For Muslims, and Jews, right, God is going to judge. Muslims and Christians, we believe Jesus is going to judge. So as Christians, we believe that we're saved by grace through faith in Jesus, and we'll survive Judgment Day, as Paul says, as though through fire. That's not very encouraging, but we're going to get through it. And so I just think people don't want that. It's like people don't go to the doctors because they don't want the bad news. I think that's why people avoid Christianity, because there's only good news because there's some really bad news. And the really bad news is you will not live forever on your own.
Yeah.
So, everybody says, they died and went to heaven. I'm like, great, which direction is it? Like, nobody knows.
Right.
But Jesus says, I know, because I came from there. So